Good afternoon. I'm David Hersman. I'm a certified flight instructor in southeastern West Virginia. Been a pilot for almost 50 years since I soloed, and I've been an instructor for over 40 years. But I'm not flying today because of the weather. Beautiful sunny day, but there's a lot of wind, gusting up to factors where I probably wouldn't be encouraging students to fly. So I'm going to be sharing with you today a video lesson. Be working on a video lesson that will help you learn about weather decisions and what free weather resources are available to you. On that, now a couple things I want to emphasize is weather is always a consideration in flying, and it's often the most immediate factor in our decision making. So we need to become a student and observer of the weather. So that's what this lesson is about, to help you obtain weather information through your phone or through your computer that's available to you, free to you. You don't have to subscribe to anything. You don't have to pay a fee. I'm trying to help you learn where you can access official weather information for aviation and how to utilize that to make good weather decisions. So let's get right into it. So first, we're going to go to some icons here on the screen where I've got one set up for the National Weather Service and honing in on Lewisburg, West Virginia, where I do most of my flying. Then the next one will be the official flight service station at 1-800-weatherbrief.com. We're also going to take a look at the Aviation Weather Center and some of the information I like to get there. Then National Weather Service radar. So these are the four things that I use the most. And as I said before, they are official weather forecasts, and they are available to you free. You don't have to subscribe to anything, pay a yearly, monthly fee or anything. And so these are good official weather sources. Now we've landed on the National Weather Service general forecast and I have mine set up to go to Lewisburg, West Virginia. You can go right up here at the top. You can set up whatever location you want to find. I could go to any other location. Right now, it's fair in Lewisburg, West Virginia. It's Veterans Day, beautiful day here, but kind of windy. The gusts are going to about 20 miles per hour, and it's going to become about 26 miles per hour tonight. Here you have a little pictorial view of the weather the next few days and nights, and then there's more down below. So this is where I go to just keep track of what the weather is the next couple days, the next several days, going out about a week. And of course, the farther out in the future you look at a broad weather forecast, the less accurate it would be. But I find this to be very useful. National Weather Service forecast. Next, we're going to go to 1-800-weatherbrief.com. This is a service provided by Leidos. I think I've been told that's supposed to be pronounced Leidos. And so here's the home screen that comes up. Has some information, news about the forecast and so forth. I'm going to check or log in, and then it'll bring up some of the information that I already have set in this page. But this is the official weather briefing weather site, and it's where we file flight plans. If we're doing it on the phone, now I'm on a laptop screen right now, but if we were doing this on the phone, we could access these same things. Up here you'll see a home button. You'll see a dashboard button. I'm going to go ahead and click that. Sometimes it takes a few seconds for the things to happen. I am out in the country where we don't have real fast service. Here's a map on the screen, but I'm going to go up here to map, and I'm going to choose a different map. We're going to talk about the maps that are available to us and the different ways we can look at that. Here's the flight plan. We're going to close that. Now, the map that's on the screen is IFR type map, but we can go right up here in the right-hand corner in that arrow there. we're going to check, first I'll take a look at the street map. It's kind of a good general map of where the towns and the mountains, major lakes, and major highways. So that's a good map just to give you a general view without too much clutter. There's an aerial view. We're not going to take the time to look at all of these, but it shows more about the terrain and things from a high uh, altitude photograph. Then there's a VFR screen that is essentially the Cincinnati sectional. So these are the sectional charts that we use in our flight planning and so forth. And right here's the Lewisburg Airport. I'll slide it over to the middle, and MOA up above it there. It is a airport with a blue symbol there, so that means it has a control tower. Over here's Hot Springs, Virginia, the highest airport east of the Mississippi, the highest public airport. And far over to the left here is Beckley, West Virginia, the New River Gorge going through there. So a beautiful area in which to fly. And this is one of the maps that's available to us. We can also, as we said, look at the IFR charts, and then topographical maps. Shows you a different view there. I use the street option and the Cincinnati sectional or that VFR chart, which are almost the same. So there you have access to maps. And then we have access, go up to the top again, we have access to weather charts. All kinds of weather charts here. We have more available on our phones now than what the flight service stations had when I first began given flight instruction. So we can look over here, and this column at the left, there's a 12-hour weather prognostic chart and showing kind of what the weather is going to be in the next 12 hours. We can click down here and go 12 hours ahead of that, and we'll go ahead and close that. Then the maps, the weather charts. Here we have a part for planning flights, obtaining official weather briefings, activating flight plans, so forth like that, and closing flight plans. Then this is interesting here. Here's a button on airports, and I'm going to go over here and just to give me a different perspective, I'm going to go KLUK, which is Lunken Airport in Ohio. So I'm going to go down here and choose Ohio if I find it. There it is, and then search that. It's going to bring up a list to choose from. There are only one Lunken Airport there. But anyhow, here's a bunch of information coming up about that airport. And there it is. Tells us local information, what area it's in as far as Indianapolis Center. It's close to the Dayton Flight Service Station. It's on the Cincinnati sectional chart. There is a landing fee at Lunken if you're not buying fuel or something. Then here's all the frequencies that you would need for that airport, and some of the Class D frequencies around Cincinnati are Class B. Lunken is a Class D airport, has a control tower, and it's close to the larger Cincinnati airport. Here's all the information about VORs, vortex, non-directional beacons. These are radio navigation aids. Here's the information about the runways. There are 2 runways at that airport, and it tells you what services are available to you there, who operates the airport, its address, and those kind of statistics about it. A lot of cautions like deer and birds in the vicinity of the airport. And then, if you're familiar with the chart supplement that has information about all the airports, you can go right online right now today, and you can get this information, the chart supplement information, for any airport you want. You can go up there to the top, you can print that out, and you don't have to have a printed version of all that information. Then going back to the airport diagram, airport page, and there's the diagram of the Cincinnati Lunken Airport. It's called the Cincinnati Municipal Airport, which, by the way, is where I took my written test for my private pilot's license some 40, 5 or 6 years ago, something like that. And so then there's charts you can bring up, diagrams and so forth for instrument approaches and other vital information. So there's so much information available about the airports. Okay, here we are again on the map page. Up at the top, there's the airports. You can have an account set up so that you can have the information about yourself and the information about the different airplanes you fly. And then if you're going to file a flight plan, you don't have to type all that information in again. A lot of it can be stored in there for you. And this is a free service, and it's sponsored by the FAA through Leidos. And so you can see what advantage that is. Has almost all the advantages of the expensive subscription plans that you can pay hundreds of dollars a year for. Another weather chart that I use a lot, weather service I use, is called the Aviation Weather Center. And here we're bringing up part of it. We can look at the map. We can see what the general conditions are right now. And we can go over here to the side and we can choose what we want included on the map right now. Sometimes a map looks too cluttered if you have too much information on it, but you can subtract some of that information by choosing exactly what you want included right now. We could take the fronts off of there. We could take so that declutters some of it as you go. But the things that I usually want on this type of a chart, whether I'm on Leidos or whether I'm on this screen from Aviation Weather Center, I want to have a chart that shows me graphically where the IFR weather is, where the mountain obscurations are, where the low-level wind shear is, and the low-level turbulence. This is showing high turbulent. No, it's just showing low right now. And the icing in some cases. But those are the ones that I'd want to know where the air mitts are, and significance would or sigmits would be information about more significant weather. So you can see all that at your fingertips. And one thing I often check on this website, because it has the format that I like best, I'm going to go to the products, and down here it says wind and temperature data. And then I'm going to fill in, since I'm in the part of the United States that's included in the Northeast, I'm going to include that for the next 6 hours. And this is low-level stuff where we would be flying in general aviation airplanes. We're going to load that data in here. And here is a chart that's showing us the winds aloft. And we're going to have a separate lesson about this, but this is showing, for instance, at Roanoke at 6,000 feet, the wind is coming from 310 degrees at 31 knots, and the temperature is plus 10 Celsius. So then at Lewisburg, this first level here, winds from, or not Lewisburg, but Charleston, the wind is from 280 degrees at 22 knots, and that'd be about traffic pattern altitude at Lewisburg, so that'd be a good bit of wind there. And it also is at 6,000 feet, 310 degrees at 31 knots, and it's plus 8 Celsius. That's the forecast. So the winds aloft forecast, I like this format. I like it better than just arrows pointing, hundreds of arrows on a map. This format works a lot better for me. So that's one thing I use the Aviation Weather Center to get the winds aloft anytime I'm expecting to be up in the air. And then we'll close that and go back to our main page. Sometimes I like to look at National Weather Service radar. Right now, over my part of the United States, here's Greenbrier County, West Virginia. Way over here is Washington, D.C., Louisville, Kentucky, far over at the right, at the left here. And so you can see there's not much showing up on radar right now, but we'll get some other pictures of that a little later. And we're going to look at the weather map again from the LIDOS Weather Flight Service on 1-800-weatherbrief.com. So it's already loaded here, I think. And so here's the weather on a different day than on the other maps we saw, where there was no precipitation and not any air mitts. Air mitts are special weather notices for airmen and women, and they are available to us in the graphic form on these maps. And up here in the upper right, you can select what you want to be included on the map, and the main thing I have there now is the air mitts. So here's a map and showing the rain. The green and the yellow is the rain. You're kind of used to that probably on TV maps. And it's the cursor's moving around. It's saying multiple items are here. So what we're going to do is go in here close to the Lewisburg area. You can't tell exactly where Lewisburg is there below the rain, but we're going to touch that area. And I think it's just up a little bit more, about like this. And we're going to touch that area, and it brings up this list of all the air mitts that are in effect for this area. You see up here at the top of the list is high level turbulence from 31,000 feet up to 41,000. The next is showing a ceiling below 1,000 feet and visibility below 3 miles, which that's the definition for IFR conditions, instrument flight rules. It's showing the icing area up there in the clouds today. It's about 36 degrees on the ground and cold rain, so it wouldn't take very much of a climb into the atmosphere to get to where the freezing level is. This is saying that the freezing level in this area is from the surface to 11,000 feet. Then this one is telling us that turbulence, low-level turbulence, from the surface to 14,000 feet. And then it's telling us that there's mountain obscurations because of mist, clouds, and precipitation. So you can see that there's lots of information, and this is a real weather day. This is the day that you would stay on the ground.